Alright, so once again we enter the cage. And this time we're looking at Ghost Rider, released in 2007. And if you don't know, Nicolas Cage is a big fan of comic book movies. He was born Nicholas Coppola, but wanted to, become an actor on his own merits and not, based on his family lineage. So he adopted the name Cage after Luke Cage, hero for hire. And he has a Ghost Rider tattoo, which he got before he did this movie. I mean, he was almost Superman, which I would have liked to seen. Technically, he did voice Superman in Teen Titans Go to the movies, but yeah. So, in 2007, he became Ghost Rider. And I remember when this came out, the only thing I knew about Ghost Rider was his characterization on the Incredible Hulk TV show from back in the 90s, the cartoon. He showed up here and there in that show, and I was always kind of fascinated by this character. But not knowing his backstory kind of hurt me when I went to watch the movie. I wanted to go see it in theaters, but I didn't want to see it alone. And my friend wouldn't go with me. He said, no, I'm not interested. But then when the DVD came out, he's like, hey, you gonna get that Ghost Rider DVD? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you can bring it over to my place. Okay. Now, I should tell you, my friend, he's not a big horror movie guy. And this has some horror, not a lot, but some horror elements to it. So when we went to watch it, it was kind of freaky. It didn't help that we were watching this during a thunderstorm. So that didn't help at all. We got maybe 20 minutes in and he wanted to turn it off. So I ended up waiting until I got home to watch this. So 13 years later, how does this film hold up and what goes on? Well, the film tells the story of Johnny Blaze, who when he was younger, did stunt things with his dad, who was a famous stunt rider, and his dad is dying of cancer, so the devil, or Mephistopheles, they call him here, played by Peter Fonda, shows up and makes a deal with him for his soul. He will cure his father's cancer if he gets his soul. He does that, and then immediately his father dies in a horrible stunt accident. Yeah, the devil's a dick. And so now Johnny's soul is tethered to the devil, Now, one of my biggest problems with this, especially watching this again, is that some of this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, so before this, Johnny and his girlfriend Roxanne are planning to run away together because her father is forcing her to move with her mother. Okay, first of all, you're 25 fucking years old. Your father can't force you to do anything. I know, okay, how are we supposed to believe that these characters are? If Johnny Blaze is already doing stunts with his father, he's got to be over 18. So his girlfriend has to be over the age of 18 too, or we'll be going into strange territory with this movie. So, how can someone who's over the age of 18 be controlled by their father to move with their mother? It makes no sense. They both have to be over the age of 18 for this movie. If he's doing stunts, he's got to be at least 18. Not to mention that in a year time span, he becomes a 50-year-old Nicolas Cage with a fake wig, fake toupee, but still, I'm just saying. Maybe he's younger than 50 years, but still. 45? I don't know how old he is now, but I'm just saying. They have to give him a toupee and CGI six-pack for them to make him look a little younger. I mean, come on. But they have a different actor playing the younger version of him, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they have to be over the age of 18. There's no way that, someone could say, hey, you're moving with your mother when you're over 18. I mean, come on. Does it say on the back how long it says years later. So years later, apparently, so Johnny ditches her. Why, I don't know. I know they imply that the devil has control of his soul because he tries to take off and the devil stops him, which brings confusion to the beginning of the thing where Sam Elliott narrates that there was a contract worth 50 souls, 50 evil souls, that the original writer wouldn't let the devil get his hands on, so he had to outrun the devil. But we were just shown that you can't outrun the devil. Now, I'll give it fair that this guy had the powers of the writer, so he could get away. Johnny Blaze is just a normal human at this point. He doesn't have the writer's powers. But still, there's no reason why he and Roxanne still couldn't have laughed, Had some sort of life together, But plot convenience means he can't. So years later, Johnny is now a famous stunt man, like his dad, only he does stunts that he should most definitely be dying from. Even his friend, played by Donald Logue, says, hey, you should be dead out there, man. You should be taking a dirt nap right now, man. But no, Nicolas Cage is more concerned with watching stupid monkey videos and eating jelly beans out of a martini glass. I kid you not. So Mephistopheles comes a-calling and says, you are my rider, and you gotta use your powers, whatever. And for the most part, the Ghost Rider stuff is actually pretty cool. I like how he, finds evil souls and makes them pay and go to hell. But, how does that work exactly? If you do one wrong thing, if you do one bad thing in your life, does that make you evil? Because you've done one bad thing and you can take your soul? What if you never done anything bad the rest of your life and you just now choose to do one bad thing and they say, oh, well, you, one bad thing leads to another, just kill you now. I don't know. We have the Devil's Son, Blackheart, played by Wes Bentley, who, God, he's trying, but he just looks like a Twilight fused with a Jonas Brother. I've seen what Blackheart looks like in the comics, and I know he probably would have been CG, but they could have done something. I mean, come on. Nicolas Cage is fine in this movie. I think he does an okay job with this one. I haven't seen the second one in a while, so it's hard to judge on that. I remember not thinking it was too bad, but yeah, Eva Mendes, she's okay. I've never really cared for her. She was all right in Too Fast, Too Furious, but I never really cared for her. And Peter Fonda's great, but they keep trying to push it to you. Every time he's near a bike, he kind of, goes with it. We get it. He was an easy rider. You don't gotta keep shoving things in for the whole length of the movie. We get it. He was an easy rider. Dreaming of Winona. I'm just saying, you don't need to keep on pushing that to us, movie. This movie was directed by Mark Steven Johnson, who would go on to direct When in Rome. Quality filmmaker there. Just saying. I've seen When in Rome, and he also directed Daredevil. Anyway, this was supposed to be his. He made this claim. Oh, hey, studio interference. And I do say that the director's cut is a little bit better, but not much. So he made this movie, and he's like, I'm gonna do better with this. Well, I do think this is a better made movie, and Nicolas Cage is fathoms better than Ben Affleck. Although I will say that Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo. Not by much. This is not by much better than Daredevil, to me. I like the scenes where he's Ghost Rider, but Nicolas Cage is just muggy. There's a scene where he's in the mirror checking himself. He's like, it's just like, who does that? And this is compounded by another scene where Eva Mendes pulls out a Magic 8 Ball to ask if the date's gonna go alright. Who comes up with this stuff? To quote that Raphael from Ninja Turtles, who comes up with this stuff? Okay, so Nick, you're gonna do this stage. You're gonna make faces in the mirror. I'm gonna what? Make faces in the mirror. I'll do it all the time. See? And cut. What, you were rolling? I'm just saying. This movie is ridiculous and not in a good way. Sam Elliott is probably the best thing in this film, and he gets barely any screen time. There's a part when you think he and Blaze are gonna ride in together, him and Cage, and then they power up, and then they get to a certain point. And he's like, "This is as far as I go. I only had power enough for one more time, and that was it." If you know you had only enough power for one more, why waste it on that? I mean, come on. The only reason I can think of is, we gotta show these two Ghost Riders together, but there's not enough budget in CGI for them to fight together in the final part. So how does it end? Well, and people get confused by this ending because they say, but Blackheart is evil. He doesn't have a soul, so why does Johnny take his soul? You gotta understand, Blackheart takes the contract, which means he has 50 souls inside of him, or 5,500, whatever. Each and every one of them evil. That's how he can do it. I kind of like that ending. I'm not against that, but overall, Ghost Rider is kind of meh in the superhero genre. I don't hate it, but I don't technically like it. I think it's okay. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's not good. So what are your thoughts on Ghost Rider? Let them know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.